It's Tuesday, and yeah, we're gonna do some prep for an upcoming game I'm gonna be running. It is 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. I've heard some pretty good things about this game. It's a little bit of classic high fantasy, I think is the best way to describe it. Certainly not vanilla, but you know, funfetti maybe. I mean, it's vanilla with sprinkles. There are, well, the entire adventure. This is different than a normal Paizo adventure. Instead of having like 3 books or 6 books or whatever, there's one big ass book. And instead of going from like level 1 to 10 or 10 or 11 to 20, this one goes from like level 4 to 13 or level 5 to 13, something like that. A bit more Red Hand of Doom-ish. And they tell you in the adventure, like, how are we going to fill in the gap here, right? Like, Red Hand of Doom does this, sort of. Storm King's Thunder does a pretty good job with it. You know, like what did they do? What did the players do for the first 5 levels? One of the things that they suggest in the actual adventure is that you convert and run burnt offerings, but for some reason they didn't convert it themselves. They're just like, it'd be pretty cool if you did, and that's like one of the suggestions. Now the raw is just like, there's like a mini game, I guess, that you do, and that determines like what happened in the, you know, for the first couple levels of your character's life. But I was intrigued by the idea of chaining burnt offerings from first edition, which is the first book of the Rise of the Rune Lords. In Pathfinder land, there are two big things in Pathfinder land. There is Kingmaker, obviously, and then there is Rise of the Rune Lords, and those are like the 2 big dick franchises inside Paizo land. And 7 Dooms for Sandpoint is a direct sequel inspired by, well, I don't know, direct sequel. Everything in it is inspired by what happened in Rise of the Rune Lords. So it's really like they wrote this adventure for themselves and for like the most hardcore Paizo fans, like the people that somehow they played through Rise of the Rune Lords and were willing to switch from first edition to second edition, and now they're going to play this and they're going to get to see all their favorite characters and villains resurrected from the first edition adventure path and brought into the new adventure path and all that. So that's cool, right? But what if you have a bunch of players who are relatively new to the hobby, completely new to Pathfinder, and they've never played they never played Rise of the Rune Lords, okay? It kind of feels at that point like running Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and they have no frame of reference to any of the fun and cool Easter eggs and first edition references that are being made. So the compromise of running burnt offerings into 7 Dooms for Sandpoint is like, they are now familiar with at least some of that intro stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to try to do. Is we're going to try and convert, which I already have a conversion guide, and I already have conversion maps that I found online, because again, Rise of the Rune Lords, kind of a big deal, so it's got a pretty big fan base, which is good. The game will start, I believe, the 8th of July. So that gives us tonight, and then 1, 2, 3 big prep sessions to get ready on stream. I'll obviously be trying to do a bit off stream, and then I will try to do an hour of prep stream before each game, but this game will not be streamed. It will not be streamed. I may speak with the players about me recording the game, and then I might make access to that like a Patreon thing. I'll see. I'll see about it. I'm gonna leave it up to them. But the prepping of the game, I don't have any problem with putting that, putting it out there. If anybody wants to hang out and body double, prep your own stuff, prep this campaign, or just, you know, I don't know, hear about this campaign. So I have read the adventure, and I think it is very good. I do think it's very good. It is very Paizo, which is not a bad thing. And it has a lot of dungeons, which I'm a huge fan of dungeons. So I have purchased the Foundry VTT box set, I guess you could say, for this. And that's what we're using as the base for this. I have copied my game settings from Skyhaven, which is my least broken of all of my games. So I copied that over here. There are still some settings that aren't going to be good and things that I will need to adjust. But overall, I think that one's a good place to start. But I kind of have to go through here now and turn on and turn off a couple of things to get it ready. Let's see. I don't know if you need arm's reach anymore. And now I don't know where it went. Let's see. Oh, yeah. We don't need Foundry arm's reach because there's regular arm's reach. Cool. And then we got the new token packs. So now we have all 4 of the official Paizo token packs, which are money. I'm going to be honest. They're a little price, but I think you get a lot for your money, so it's not too bad. I don't think any of these guys are going to need mobile support, so we're not going to turn those mods on. And then, obviously, we should turn back on 7 Dooms for Sandpoint, so that we have access to the compendium for that. Other settings, I think we could probably get away with turning off the Starfinder playtest, which we don't need, and possibly the PF2E playtest. I'm going to turn both of those off. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. It is going to reboot. Alright, I have not built a dashboard for this game yet. I'm thinking I will just modify my classic dashboard, but I will include the new, like, expanded desktop. I don't know what to call it. It kind of comes up around the side here. And I like how that's been working for my other games. So, and I've kind of been using that same like desk like background since I started on Roll20, so it's kind of sentimental to me. So I might go ahead and export this player dashboard and then bring it in. No, not import, export. There we go. After we get booted back in. Alright. So let's see. All of our fun warnings. Ooh, we're going to go over here, configure settings. We're going to go to core settings. Yeah. I'm going to go to default token. I'm going to change the default token height to... I'm going to just change it back to 5 feet. I thought that setting the height to 0 would be smart, but it's actually been bad. So I'm going to set it to that. Let's see. Hovered by anybody, hostile, all that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to save that. It's going to be one more refresh. And I'm not going to try to dick around with the settings too much, but any settings that I encounter that we need to change for building purposes, we'll have to deal with that. And I have compiled a list of changes between 7 Dunes and burnt offerings. So I'll go ahead and crack that open also. Let's see. Because I went through and read both of the adventures, obviously, because I'm trying to chain them together. All right. Let's see. All right, looks like we're back in. Go ahead and create a new scene. We'll turn this into the player dashboard by importing it. There we go. And I don't know if I'm going to worry about Hero deck and stuff like that for this game. We will see. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and grab all the actors. Get rid of those. I'll grab all of this. There we go. Alright. And then I believe this is all flat. Yeah, it's all flattened on there. So I will have to either go grab the blank, or I'll have to make like a special desktop just for it. And I don't know if I have a special, if I have a blank one on tap already. Let me see. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. That'd be under UI. Let me see. UI assets, table clutter. Oh, yeah, look, I do have it. Okay. Tabletop, two panel version 2. Alright. Alright, so it's a little shorter than what we had before. And I think it's locked. Nope, okay. So what we could do is stretch it out. Let's see, height 2500. Alright, and then where is the bottom of the scene? Oh, it's down there. Okay. Cool. Alright, and then for this, we'll go ahead and do what could I grab for that? I'll probably just grab something from Kingmaker for now, just have a placeholder. Yeah. Or let's see. Do this. Like that. It's really hard to tell where the actual edge of everything is because I opted to have a black background. But I think that'll work. Alright. Hey, what's up, Dom? Okay. And then, let's see. Pathfinder, Sandpoint, art. And there should be a decent amount of stuff here. What is this? Oh, that's adorable. Man, okay. Robert Pituro. Oh, that's a spicy Reddit I just showed everybody. It's a mature stream. Don't worry about it. All right, let me see. Okay. Save as. Sandpoint. Sandpoint. Robert P. Okay. Alright, insecure download. Nah, man. Just keep it. Okay. Alright, go in here. And roughly the size that we need for our dashboard is right around there. Yeah. Bring that up, over. So that means we need to extend to here. We extend this out. Okay, we can do that. So I'm gonna hide this, and then we'll do extend art. Hey, what's up, Jamak? Jamak? Alright, hopefully it'll do an extension without being weird about it. That was pretty weird. I wonder why it didn't go all the way. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alright, hold on. Alright, extend background. Okay, that's much better. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so what we could do with that is do extend that out a bit. There we go. Go over here, grab that. Oh no, that's not what we want to do. Alright. And I think that should match up right about there. Yeah, cool. Alright, we'll do this. And then you can see here that it didn't generate in the bottom left or whatever, and that's fine. We got something for that. So let's see. Where's my stamp tool? Ah, there we go. Alright, so we'll just grab this, kind of fill it in like so. And I think this part down here will be covered up anyways by the border, but just to have that sort of finished. Whatever you want to call it is correct. Love your videos, man. It kind of helped with my prep games. Oh, that's great. It's good to hear. Sometimes all you need is just somebody else who's also putting in the grind, essentially. Alright, so we got Sandpoint, blah, blah, blah. So we want to put scene. There we go. Then we'll head over and we will swap this out for that. So do I have a 7 Dooms folder? I do. Alright, so we don't have a scenes folder yet. So we've got that. Go into scenes. We'll grab our first scene for the campaign, which is this one. Select and update. And currently it is squashed and stretched, but we can fix that by just trying to resize it and holding down Alt, and that will sort that out. There we go. All right. Let's see. We'll turn that weather down. It's way up because Skyhaven has a lot of clouds, obviously, but we can just turn that off for now. And we got some lights on the scene that we probably don't need just yet, so I'll get rid of those. All right. Ooh, it's a little dark up there without it, though. All right, we'll just leave that one on. Okay, so feeling a little bit better about it. I have a logo downloaded that we could use, but I think for now, just having like a dashboard is good. Let's look at what we've got. The only map I currently have for Burnt Offerings is Sandpoint Olden Times. So you can't really even tell the difference between Sandpoint Olden Times and Sandpoint Modern Times because they, I think, use the same map. But we will see when or if I am able to load this up. Okay, so they did change the maps. So I kind of like the idea of using like the original map from the original adventure. Here you can see it's lower resolution. It's obviously hand drawn. And then the more modern one is very like digital drawn, using map assets, that kind of thing. So I did think that was kind of fun that I was able to track down the original map from the original adventure, because I do have a copy of the original adventure, Burnt Offerings, which we are going to take a look at real quick. All right, so Burnt Offerings. Let's go. Pathfinder, table of contents. Welcome to Galarian. So this was like in the early days. Like we're going way back in time. This is 2009 to give you a sense of how old this shit is. So what is that? 2009. It's 16 years ago. Yeah, so 16 years ago is when this PDF is from. I think it might be even older than that. I think this adventure is from 2003? Is that when this was published? Holy shit. Yeah. So it's an old-ass adventure. They've made it into a very fun mobile game and a very fun board game if you just want to play through for the story. And I think there's like a novels series and a graphic novel series. I mean, again, this was like the biggest thing until Kingmaker was Rise of the Rune Lords. Oh. I'll eat later. It's okay. So this is very classic, like first edition Pathfinder. It's super problematic, like super problematic. There's an Aasimar. She's super hot. She goes around in a chainmail bikini. She ends up having a boyfriend in the town who's just a human man. And the boy knocks her up, and then he gets scared and he runs away and he leaves her with the baby. And I mean, it's pretty bad. Then like I think she like loses the baby or something, and then the goddess of all monsters, like, oh right. So in order to keep her reputation of being this pure angelic creature, the Aasimar, whose name is like Nulia, she has an affair with this guy in like the catacombs under the city, which is where there is a shrine to Lamashtu, the goddess of monsters. And they're like, let's fuck on this altar, I guess. And basically she has a monster baby. She has a monster baby. So you can't hide a pregnancy forever, and she's a good guy. She loves life. She's not going to give up the baby. But everybody finds out about it, and it gets real dark. It gets real dark. This is a storyline that I don't know if Paizo would feel confident about publishing today, which could also be why they didn't do a second edition update to this adventure so that you could chain it into Seven Dooms. But this lady is in Seven Dooms. So there is that. But yeah, when she told Delic that she was Prego, he revealed his true colors, and he called her, and if you have sensitive ears, you might want to cover them. He called her a slut, guys. It says it right here. And a harlot, which he didn't pay her, so I don't think that's true. He fled Sandpoint rather than face her father's wrath. Nulia's shock turned to rage. She had nowhere to vent her anger. She bottled it up, and when her father discovered her delicate condition, his reaction to her indiscretions only furthered her shame and anger. He forbade her to leave the church, lectured her nightly, made her pray to Desna, who's like the goddess of love, pretty sure, for forgiveness. In doing so, he unknowingly nurtured her growing hatred. When the rune well in the catacombs of Wrath flared to life, Nulia's own anger was a magnet to his magic. 7 months pregnant, the wrathful energy suffused her mind, and she flew into a frenzy. She miscarried her baby. I'm telling you, this event, all of Rune Lords was fucking crazy. It was Book 1 Game of Thrones crazy. Like the second book is all about like cannibals wearing skin suits. I mean, it was fucking nuts. All right. It looks like something that can't be released today with that. Oh yeah. Like there's no way that modern Paizo could do this. This is Old Testament Paizo. This is Old Testament Paizo. But man, it gets crazier. So the double shock of losing her child. When she saw the miscarried baby, she saw that it was horribly malformed and horrific. And she went so crazy, she went into a coma. While she was in a coma, she dreamed unhealthy dreams. Anyways, she went crazy. When she woke from her cocoon-like coma, she was a baddie. Yeah. And she jammed her father's door shut as he slept, lit the Church of Desna on fire, and fled Sandpoint. The locals assumed Nulia had burned in the fire, a tragedy made all the worse by the death of Father Tobin as well, yet Nulia lived. She fled to Magnamar, where she enlisted the aid of a group of killers known as the Skinsaw Men. With their aid, she tracked down Delic and murdered him, yet his death did not fill her need for vengeance. Sandpoint and its hated citizens still lived. Seeing a kindred spirit in the tortured women, the mysterious leader of the Skinsaw Men gave Nulia a medallion bearing a carving of a 7-pointed star. 7-pointed star? What? Do you think it has something to do with the 7 dooms that are coming for Sandpoint? Could be. Anyways, let's keep going. It was called the Sahedron Medallion. Nulia learned that she had a larger role to play, and that her dreams were a map to her destiny. Taking the advice to heart, she returned to Sandpoint, found herself drawn to the brick wall in the Smuggler's Tunnel, where she used to get railed by Delic on the regular, and conceived her deformed child. She bashed down the wall, and in doing so, she discovered the Catacombs of Wrath and the Quasit Aurelium, also a follower of Lamashtu. For many months, she studied under Aurelium's tutelage. During this time, she received another vision from Lamashtu, a vision of a monstrous goblin wolf imprisoned in a tiny room. In her dreams, she learned that this creature, a bar guest named Malfeshnikor, was one of Lamashtu's chosen. If she could find and free him, he would not only help her achieve vengeance against the town of Sandpoint, but he would be the key to cleansing her body of what she had come to see as her celestial taint. And I don't think she means like the spot by her butthole, but maybe. Who knows? It gets crazier though. Nulia wanted to become one of Lamashtu's children now. She wanted to become a monster herself. But what she didn't know is that anyone can be a monster. It's been inside you the whole time. So anyways, shit gets wild. We've got problematic goblins. I'm talking about the goblins that will kill the family dog. Their cultural weapon is called the dog chopper. Goblins in first edition Pathfinder were not your friend. They were not the cute little buddy that sometimes got into mischief. Oh, they're so precocious. These were psychopaths, okay? First edition goblins were fucking crazy. And the women, they didn't have hair. I know nowadays they wear wigs and they hot little short stacks, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you couldn't tell the boy goblins from the girl goblins. They just had these Pac-Man frog heads with multiple rows of teeth. They set everything on fire, and they were described as having the mental capacity of a deranged human toddler, okay? So this is what we were dealing with back then. So the adventure starts with the goblins trying to burn down the town. Look at the art of these goblins. These goblins were not okay, all right? These goblins were not okay. This was a different time in Galarian's history, all right? And I've found out that it was only 17 years ago. So in 17 years, the goblins of Galarian have somehow cleaned up their act to the point that that they're accepted by society, which is fine. I get it. I want to be, you know, open and accepting of goblins, I guess. This one literally says die, dog, die. That's how much they wanted to kill domesticated animals. Here's an illustration of a first edition goblin riding on a goblin dog, murdering a domesticated dog. Okay? Like, these are bad dudes. Anyways, so they attack. The party fends off the goblins. Right? Anything's possible. So these guys, in the first edition, they're going to stop the goblins, and everyone's going to be like, damn, you heroes, or whatever. So here's where it also gets kind of interesting. All right? So there's a character in this adventure, the shopkeep's daughter. Her name is Shayless Vinder. She is a female human commoner. She's certainly an attractive young woman. And she will try and throw herself at any hot male character who comes her way, is one of the things. And then, see, she will take them down to the basement and try to make her move. They assume that your player character is going to bang this guy's possibly underage daughter in his basement while he's upstairs. And they have a skill challenge to see if you get caught. Again, first edition Pathfinder was a different game. Anybody that's been playing 5e and you play it and you're like, oh man, that Curse of Strahd's pretty problematic. You've got no idea what we were doing back then. It was pretty crazy. Anyways, the dad will come down. He's a level 7 commoner. So even though you're a level 1 big dick adventurer, this dude's going to beat your ass. He's going to beat your ass. So anyways, you have a skill challenge to try to survive getting your ass beat by this dude for banging his daughter in the basement of his shop. If you kill him or his daughter, you're gonna go to jail for 1d3 days and then have to face trial. Again, Pathfinder has always been about murder. And they planned around it at every turn. They planned around it every turn. Whew. All right. So anyways, these are a lot of very cool and very interesting NPCs that make up the town. Here's the tricky part. They just copy and pasted basically the character, like the town. Nothing really changes in the town in 17 years. So one of the hardest things I've encountered so far of getting this converted over is how do you account for the 17 years that are supposed to pass between the first adventure and the second adventure, right? Between Burnt Offerings and Sandpoint. So if they are a long-lived race, or if they were like a human that was only like 17 or 18, 17 years later, it's still believable that they might come out of retirement, do some more adventuring. If they're like an elf or a dwarf or something, like 17 years ain't nothing. Or if they were like an older character, or maybe they died in Burnt Offerings, or maybe they just didn't like their character bird offerings, they want to try something else. It's suggested that they play as either the children of the original, so you'd be like 17, I guess, or maybe they had kids when they went adventuring. They're like, I'm not making any money down at the docks. Let's try being an adventurer to put food on the table for my little boy. And then you play as a little boy later. I don't know. But like, there's a lot of cool suggestions. Or they're students, they're apprentice, whatever. So there's a lot of opportunities to sort of like, on the player side of things, kind of transition from one to the other. It doesn't feel to me like there is as much of a chance to do the where am I going with this? The town itself. There are differences. There are subtle differences, but you could see like the town map lines up perfectly. Nothing changes in the whole town in 17. They don't fix the ruins. They don't build any new buildings. Like this prosperous like port town is the same 17 years ago as it is in the modern age. I'm debating how much I really care about that as far as the conversion goes. Probably not too much. I'll probably just let it ride. Anyways, as you continue to play through this adventure, it gets more and more messed up, essentially. And I think it all just kind of comes to a head where you're fighting these horrible monstrosities that Lamashtu is bringing to the table. And in the background of all this is the actual plot line of the Rise of the Rune Lords, which is like terrible magic is activating all around the world, and people are going to use that magic for evil and to destroy the world. And so, like, you need to stop it. Now, the official adventure and the official narrative is that the same heroes were involved in all 6 books. But the suggested thing for this is that the characters in this one were pivotal in stopping this runestone phenomenon from happening. And while they were doing this, other heroes were doing stuff in other parts of the world. So let me grab that information here so we can kind of look it over. All right, we'll go here and here. All right, so Rise of the Rune Lords into yeah. So we got this conversion guide that I found online. I'll link it in chat, I guess, if you're interested. And so this guy went and he converted the whole adventure over, which is pretty cool. And I think, I can't remember if there's an easy way to get these guys ported into Pathfinder or not. I haven't tried to actually get them in, but he gives suggestions on like what monsters to swap out and things like that. I'm trying to like not build anything from scratch if I can help it, so I'm probably just gonna do like whatever's close, and I'll just use that to sub in for it. Alright, so use this file to give general advice to any GM running the conversion. While this is yours to toy with, I suggest doing the following: general plot, introduction, and advice on most suited class, as well as lore subcategories, general advice, background tie-ins, including some notes that might reach as far as book 4 to 3. This is if you're running the whole Rise of the Rune Lords. So these are special backgrounds that they created just for this campaign, so I will need to probably add that to the to-do list. Hold on. Alright. Burnt offerings, the Sandpoint legacy. A prelude. Here we go. Okay. Well. Alright. And then let's see. I also made a player's guide too. I'll go grab that real quick. I think I did a player's guide. Or maybe that's my Oh, this might be the player's guide supplement. Yeah. So this just kind of tells them what you would know about the town 17 years ago, to kind of like get that sorted out for them. Adventure services, festival, the custom backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. So I will need here to add a new tab. We're going to call this prep. All right. Okay, so create custom backgrounds in Foundry VTT for this document, which is called burnt offering. No? I thought it would reference that a lot easier. That's alright. We'll just go here. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Convert or find place holders for all burnt offering actors. Okay, which is covered here. And this will be burnt offerings. Alright. Hello, how far is your... We have not started yet. We're going to start July 8th. I'm supposed to be playing in the Sandpoint campaign in the most near future. I've already started security. Oh, well, I mean, you might be getting some spoilers if you're hanging out here. You might be getting some spoilers. I don't know if you or your group care about spoilers, but might be getting some spoilers. Let's see. So this is player-centric. So I'm going to do player. Just put player tag on it. There we go. Prelude to 17s for player's guide. Yeah. Alright. And then he even goes as far as to talk about the treasure that you would need for each of the locations, the guys that you're going to fight, NPCs, and maps were included also. Yeah. So let's see. As far as the adventure goes, in my opinion, it's very like straightforward. Like everything is like goblins and goblin centric with a couple of like spooky monsters. It do start to ramp up like towards the end, for sure. I mean, Yethhound, that's a relatively tough monster. And then let's see. Oh yeah, you got to fight Malfeshnikor, who is a greater Barghest, so that's going to be a whole thing. I thought this was kind of neat. They can get Lamashtu's mark, and I don't know if he converted that or not. Let me see. Lamashtu mark. Yeah, it doesn't look like he did, so that might be a fun thing for us to add as a possible feat or boon. So I'll add that to prep also. Convert Lamashtu's mark from BO page 56. Let's see. Extra XP. You might find that once your players have gone through everything in this adventure, including the Catacombs of Wrath and the lower level of Thistletop, they're well into 4th level and maybe pushing 5th. But before you panic and begin worrying if the PC is going to be too high in level for the Skin Saw Murders, which assumes PCs start at 4th level, keep in mind the fact that not all the encounters and burnt offerings need to be completed in order for the PCs to rescue Sandpoint from Nulia and her goblin army. Alright, cool. Then we've got lore about the city, old school map of the city. It's very tempting to use this old school art for the... Oh my goodness. Wow. That's... oh my god. That's Amiko? What? She kind of had a glow up, I feel. Alright, so that's her original art, and this is her more iconic art, I guess. Hold on. Yeah, it's a bit of a difference here. And then this is her, I believe, most updated art for 2nd edition. Right there. So man, it's quite an evolution there. Let's see who else we got back here. Oh boy. Alright, Thassalon, Notes on the Fallen Empire, Rise of the Rune Lords, how this chains together into a full campaign, Thassalon, the Side-Drawn Rune. Ooh, that would be cool for our pause symbol. Let's see. What's the coolest one we could find? Let's see. Wow, somebody made it into an actual amulet. That's pretty fucking dope. This one's made of blood. I think this one. Yeah. I like that one. Alright, so we'll save that out. Oh, thank you. Good luck with your game. Oh, it's going to be spoilery for sure. So you should escape while you can. Everyone should probably just leave, honestly. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to clean this up for our pause icon while I'm thinking about it. Alright, image, canvas size, pixels. We'll do 550 by 550. So switch this to pixels. We'll do 225. Wait, no, 275. That's how you do that. There we go. All right, and then we want to have this kind of right in the middle. It's hard to gauge if it's right in the middle. I think that's good. So we're gonna go here and do brightness contrast and then turn up both, I think. Yeah, that seems good. We'll do sharpen edges. Ooh, yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so then I want to brighten up the gemstones. So what we'll do to brighten up the gemstones is we're gonna duplicate the layer, but then we're gonna go and delete everything that's not the gemstones, so that we can mess with the values of the gemstones, basically. Let's see. I'm sorry if my prep is like so incredibly unorganized and all over the place, but generally at the beginning of a campaign when I'm prepping, I sort of just like approach it with broad strokes, and then I have a sense of like what I need to have for the game, and I'll focus on like getting that the way I want it before I worry, you know, too much about what should I 100% be focusing on, if that makes any sense. Let's see, we'll go here, do hue saturation. We're going to turn saturation way up. There we go. And gonna delete that. Ooh, I didn't realize there was so much that we had missed there. Damn. Okay. And yeah, that definitely increased the brightness tremendously. So I'm gonna duplicate it again. Then I'm gonna do a Gaussian blur on it. And the point of that is to spread the colors out. because we're going to turn those colors into lighting. I'm going to go to soft light, and then I'm going to do hard light. All right. Let's see. So now it'll kind of look like it's glowing a little bit. At least that's the idea. So I'll go ahead and save this out as a PNG. There we go. And we could do more with this if we wanted to, but I think it's more than enough for a pause icon. But we could also use as a symbol on the dashboard too. So we'll do icon. Oh, could not complete this. An error operated while reading it. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I'll try saving it out as a WebP then. Yeah, overwrite it. Okay. So if I go back to our game and I go to settings. Alright, I can do pause. Let's see. Pause border. Workbench, custom image used for pause. There we go. And we're going to back out of this. Oh, shit. I don't know where I ended up. That was a lot of clicking. Okay. We'll try again. Oh, it's just not showing my settings now. Weird. Alright, let's try again. All? Okay. Alright. We'll try it a little bit slower. Okay. In here. Alright, so we're gonna do directory name will be UX. I am getting some real slowdown though. Not sure what's going on with that. There we go. Grab that. And then when I save it, it should change out for that. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Kind of keeps the theme a little bit more. Alright, what else we got down here in pause? Pause icon, pause, border, center pause, image with text above. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And then here we could just put doomed. There we go. So I guess we don't really need well, will these two work together? I don't know. Alright, we'll go ahead and save it. Neat. Alright, and then if we go to our dashboard. Okay, that shows up pretty good on the dashboard. It's still running like ass though. Not 100% why. I am here. Oof. Hey, you're not supposed to be on the table. I don't have any Cheetos for you. Okay. Alright, we can get rid of this stuff down here. Maybe. Alright, sweet. Yeah, I'm not too happy with the tanking performance. I wonder if I got some conflicting mods. I don't think so, though. I think it's just running slow. I think just the browser in general is running slow. Alright. Then I will turn off this other Foundry just to free up some resources. And oof. Alright. Hopefully things get a little bit better over here. Alright. What else do we need to do? I think... Yeah, I think this pretty much covers what we need from here. We could start bringing in the monsters. So yeah, I feel like that's probably a good place to go. We'll do the monsters now. So let's see. Gonna go over here, assuming it lets me. There we go. And we're going to new folder. New folder will be called Burnt Offerings. And I'm thinking like a real bloody kind of dark red would be good. There we go. Okay. And then what else have I got here? Something's definitely assailing my Brave browser. But what is it? Like the whole thing is like locked down. I'm surprised it's like still responsive. Very strange. Alright. Yeah, no, this is weird. I might have to take a break for troubleshooting and then boot it back up. Let's see. Brave browser has been so good to me for like 2 years now, but I have been having some issues with it lately, performance-wise. And now that there's a mod to like transfer your player settings between browsers, it feels like it wouldn't be a bad time to, I don't know, give Chrome a chance again. Highly considering it. Let's see. Oof. Yeah. All right. So I got dinner ready at my place. I'm gonna stop the stream now. I'm gonna get some dinner, and then when I come back after dinner, I will see if Chrome runs this any better, because this seems to be happening more and more with my Brave browser setup. So we'll see. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Otherwise, I'll be back on Thursday to prep for Skyhaven. So I'll see you later.